when you go all in on something, I would say that does take conviction. Now, your conviction might be
how many chairs are you sitting on right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair? The point really is you put on one pair of glasses. You've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. You're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? The point really is things in your life. Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? Do you take a different way? You know? So my point really is, if you're you get on one airplane, are you convicted? You put your entire family on the one airplane, aren't you afraid? There is. I said, well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth.
Funky, monkey, punky, pump it, price, jump it, hop in a new whip, paid for by Punky. I'm just too lit. Somebody say something. A monkey that look like a frog, price look just like a dog's, full of some chads and gods. Fudders is mad I bought. Word to your mothers, this monkey is doing a lot. Take out a hammer, I'm whacking a fudder, just cleaning the face. Jumping on Twitter, take over the space. Punky is pumping, increasing the pace. A monkey that look like a frog, paid for my flight to Prague. Touchdown, Punky Lamborghini rental in the garage. She's at my Punky, we had a menage. No, she not Nikki, cause I'm too picky. That's why my portfolio as long as a blog. All about Punky and why that shit rocks. Punky take over the block, watch. Punky, on me, funky, monkey, punky, pump it, price, jump it, hop in a new whip, paid for by Punky. I'm just too lit. Somebody say something. Punky, on me, funky, monkey, punky, pump.
Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1.3 billion market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Just shut up and let me enjoy this pain.
Welcome to the pain zone. It's where we live.
When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real.
You need to love pain.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
Everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake, but pain? Shit. That's real.
However, mentally, physically, love it. You need to love it. If not, stay where you are.
Broski, the market is so red, I thought my MacBook was bleeding. This is the end, cuz. Yesterday I was a millionaire, today I'm a slumdog. This is not a dip, this is a black hole.
Imbeciles, they have no idea. This is not a black hole, this is the beginning of a big bang.
Why is Broski not panicking with us? Yeah, why is he so unfazed? Have you checked your wallet, cuz? The crypto is down 85%. Allow him, Broski, he's still in denial. Is it down by 85%? Or is it 85% off? Oh shit! No, gang, not the hustler mindset. Not the hustler mindset. Bro said it's not a crash, it's a discount. Circumstances, but you can change your mentality. Remember, brothers, The market sends his toughest battles to his most financially literate soldiers. When the Nasdaq falls, will you give up? Or remember that no amount of setbacks defeat a qualified mind? You see a dip and start to sell, but I remember that sudden emotions lack logic. Down isn't permanent. So I invest more into the S&P because I was born to struggle and persist.
Nah, man, how does
This guy knows something. Broski, was you in the board meeting with Donald Trump? So tell me, brothers, when the crops go dry, will you sell your land or sow more seeds, knowing that the harvest will always return?
He's really got that hustler mindset. Bro's got that JP Morgan mentality. That's that quarter-zip discipline, cuz. Yeah, gang. Rare few individuals that make it out, cuz. This guy's one of them.
Bro, gambling in 2025 is crazy. I just bet that Israel would bomb Lebanon, and now I'm up $400. Bro, just bet on Israel bombing people. Like, you literally can't lose. Like, it's free money.
Don't gamble. Oh yeah, don't gamble money that you can. Man. I mean, unless it's a lock. There's no such thing as a lock. That's the thing. Unless it's a lock. If it's a lock, oh my God, it's a little different.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay.
Genuine question. Butt or boobs?
Bitcoin! By the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill. By the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill.
Do I have your attention now? Do I have it?
Good. I thought so.
You're late to work, who gives a fuck? It's your life, bitch! Fuck you, boss, I'm late! I'm late! What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late! You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch! Late! I'm late! You gonna fire me? That's cute! Late!
Hey boss, good morning. Good, how you doing? Listen man, I'm not going to be able to make it in today. No, I'm not calling in sick. I'm calling in rich. Yeah, you remember those Shiba Inu coins that you laughed at me for buying? Well, I bought 100 million of them. And wouldn't you know that damn thing hit a penny? And now it's worth $1 million. So yeah, I'm calling in rich. No, I'm serious. So I won't be in ever again. Hello? Hello? Motherfucker just hung up on me. Fucking hater.
You buy this for $39.99, guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby, you're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99, that's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, Good deals don't get by me, baby. I move. I act quick. I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com. Boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby. Because you bought it for $39.99. Yatanaki.
Oh no, I hope I don't fall.
Missing. You cried. There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry. I mean, that's crying. I would disagree.
You want to know what I found out the other day?
What did you find out the other day?
Did you know the entire Earth is $315 trillion in debt?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Who do they owe money to?
Bro, who are they getting money from?
It blows my mind that first off, you have everything on the planet here to live for free.
You literally have everything you need.
And then you invent a system that creates a deterioration of your own resources.
You created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value every day. Every day.
And you're increasing your technology, and yet somehow you still owe money to someone, and it's $315 trillion. There's not enough paper to print that much cash. What are they doing?
Dude, Earth is like the worst meme coin. It's the worst.
It got rugged.
Earth got rugged.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night here from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I guess pretty much all over the world. We got people all over this place here on this stream for the 929th episode. We've done a few of the Cultivate Crypto show. So today we decided to get a panel group here, the best of the best in the PulseChain community, the people who are still standing, not complaining like little bitches. So we're going to talk about PulseChain, why it's going to zero today and everything. And just the future of Hex and PulseChain, what we like, what we don't like, just, you know, the brutal truth here. So I just want to get everybody to kind of introduce themselves. I guess we do have a wider audience here. We have, we are live both on the Cultivate Crypto channel, as well as I think we got the Grays streaming, we got B-Roots streaming, and maybe a few of you others have done that too. But yeah, it looks like we got overall right now about 600 people live watching us through YouTube and Twitter. So awesome to see that the PulseChain community is still strong, still kicking. And even if there's, you know, some people in the chat who are ninja watchers, you know, kind of watching the train wreck from afar, we appreciate that you all are here. So smash the like button and do that engagement on whichever platform you are watching. But let's kind of do the Brady Bunch round robin here of introductions, because I think I've had everybody here on my channel except for maybe B-Roots, KG, and Fast. I know you've been on the channel, maybe, what do you call it, through the chat and everything, so I count that. But let's go through here. Let's start with Prairie over here. We'll just kind of go like, what do you call it, like around the circle somehow. We'll figure it out.
I think you're muted, brother.
Yeah, you're muted.
Left to right, top to bottom. Can you hear me now?
And I gotta, like unmute Kyle. Just unmute. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay. On the Prairie Banana, bought the Cycle Top in 2021. Been around a few different assets. I went all in on Hex. Richard Hart. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Ended up over in PTDC, and once I got a hold of PTDC, I never let go. And I'm the author of The Gray's Currencies. We wrote a book about the Gray's Currencies. That's how important this asset, we believe this asset is for PulseChain. Thanks for having me here today.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm trying to get the, let's see, there we go. We're just kind of working out the tech here. I don't usually do panel streams very often. So, it's everything here, but no, it's good to see everybody excited about the Grays in the chat as well. I think, I mean, I was telling you this before the stream, and we'll probably go into this once we get into the discussion, but I do think out of everything on PulseChain, that's not the cores of PulseChain, Hex, and PulseX, basically PTGC is the best project out there. So appreciate that you guys are still working hard. Let's go over to Fast on this next one.
You bet. So I'm Fast Abdul. I've been around on the PulseChain since day one. I'm the founder of multiple protocols and working on a couple more, some stable coins, some DeFi stuff. And that's kind of where I live, is DeFi on PulseChain. It can also be found on X and just about everyone's YouTube channel.
Beautiful. Appreciate you, man. Let's keep working it.
What's up, guys? MGC, probably the most bearish person on PulseChain right now, but it's fun. Been around since I first got into the stock market and then got into crypto back in 2019, 2020. Did well on Ethereum and then came across onto Hex and PulseChain and then kind of just had an audience from there. So it's good to be here, good to be on the show, and good to be on a great panel.
Awesome.
What's up, guys? This is the Great 369. I'm the founder of PTGC and UFO, both pretty large projects on PulseChain. PTGC went from roughly a 50K market cap to a 480 million market cap, I believe. UFO went.
Oh, I think you just muted yourself because I heard UFO went and then you got ruined.
Yeah, sorry. UFO went from roughly a 50K market cap all the way up to 100 mil market cap, both on pretty good discounts right now just due to crypto in general, but still here kicking along and excited for 2026.
Beautiful. Good stuff. And got B-Roots out here.
What's up, peeps? You all know who the Moon King is, the #1 shiller of PulseChain. That's right. Been in the game since 2013. It's been a while. I can't believe it's almost, 13 years in crypto. Knew about Hex day one, knew about PulseChain day one, not in Hex day one, in PulseChain day one. Find ways to make money no matter what chain it's on, whether it's PulseChain, Sui, Solana, Ethereum. I'm the multi-chain guy, and by far the biggest caller of gains on PulseChain. So what I say, you probably should listen.
Nice. Love to hear it. We still buying PDI?
I would not buy PDI.
That's the moon, bro. $1, bro. Unbelievers, man.
We'll go to DCC. Oh, you're muted, bro.
First time in crypto, total noob. I don't know what I'm doing here.
The usual, yeah.
The usual. No, my name is Dollar. Yeah, so name is Dollar Cost Crypto, co-founder of the Crypto Mindset course, and day one OG of Hex, PulseChain, and everything else that's cool. Been around since 2016, and just here for the ride, man. Still supporting the chain, obviously, but been a shitcoiner since day one.
Nice, beautiful. Yeah, we got about 165 live on the Cultivate Crypto channel. We're about 777 here on total, so good to see. We got KG in the house.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Am I muted?
We got you.
You're good. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is KG. I'm the founder of the Internet Money Crypto Wallet on Android, iOS, and Chrome. We support all EVM chains native to PulseChain, have Bitcoin support, more chains along the way. We just crossed 113,000 downloads, open source. We collect no data. And I'm also known as the #1 suspect for potentially being the real Satoshi.
Nick Szabo's brother that we just didn't know about. And we got the wild, last but not least, the wild SJ. Oh, you are muted. Here, let me make sure. There we go.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, everyone? I am a wild SJ, also known as the PulseChain Positivity Princess. I am bullish always. I just always am, especially because of the community. I got into Hex in May of 21, so like on the way to the top or near the top. Haven't really seen monetary gains, but I like to say that my life has 10,000x'd because of my involvement in the community and the people that I'm surrounded with and the work that I do, including nowadays working alongside the RS Griffin Foundation, getting all the tablets for the PulseChain marketing out. So that's where I've been and where I'm going.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Are you streaming from the same undisclosed location as Richard Hart? I mean, I kind of no. It's a little dark over there. Good stuff. So yeah, glad to have everybody here and appreciate your guys' time. I know trying to get a group of 8 people in this community together is a little bit of a challenge, but we did it. So
Herding cats, as Charlie said in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Herding cats. That's right. But yeah, let's get into it. I guess the first question, and we're gonna just kind of like have it as an open conversation. Here, if anybody, if we need to cut anybody off, we'll let you guys know. But for the most part, we just want to kind of get everybody's honest thoughts here on where PulseChain's at, what the future of it is, if there is a future, because I heard it's going to zero. But yeah, so with the first question here, I guess first, is it going to zero? How do you think the first bear market here will play out for PulseChain? I guess it's the second one for Hex, technically speaking, but what are your guys' thoughts in general on that? Because there's a few people, in the chats that say like, hey, it's a scam, it's all going to zero, never coming back, and all that stuff.
It's
yeah, right? We'll get warmed up here.
I'll start it off. It's bear markets are always brutal, right? Bear markets are always brutal. It's going to be no different for PulseChain, obviously. We need Ethereum to recover. It's just the way liquidity pools work. We need Bitcoin to recover. We need Ethereum to recover. But the good thing is that there was a 1-year delay. Originally, PulseChain was going to launch in 2022 off the old, Ethereum V1, and we waited a year and launched in 23, and we essentially got the Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. So, PulseChain does benefit from all the upgrades that Ethereum will do. It's just, do we choose to use them is the question.
Right. And that kind of makes it okay, that's a use case that we have for the chain, because if you look at it on an island, right, we don't have a lot of, interconnectedness with PulseChain. It's not really a lot of cross-chain ability, which is why it's good that we have, the internet money wallet and other stuff that can kind of help people do stuff like that. But I always kind of thought if PulseChain's on its own little island here, it might struggle a little bit more. So I'm kind of at first, the very first thing that Richard Hart had kind of marketed PulseChain for is like, hey, it's a better Ethereum. And then it's like, oh, no, now it's an Ethereum testnet. And it's like, are those narratives enough to really get devs to come on the chain and really want to use it? I think that's a couple of people shaking their head. No, it looks like.
No, I mean, everything that was marketed is, let's just be for real. It's trash. In my opinion, it's from the beginning. I don't think obviously we all know that the biggest airdrop in the world that didn't pan out, that actually did horrible for our chain. It actually was more harm to the chain than actually a positive to the chain. Timing horrible. Piggybacking off Ethereum horrible. Buying Ethereum at the top horrible. So there's a lot of horrible things. And when it comes to PulseChain, I personally think that PulseChain needs to have its own identity. The whole type of copying off of Ethereum did not do anything for us. You're better off buying into BNB or Solana or Sui and routing those up for gains, because all I think people care about is green candles. And because we didn't even have a bull market, you had to go elsewhere to get that bull market. So I think a lot of people believed in the Richard Hart motto for the bull market and was highly upset if you did not come to the Moon King's island of gains when it comes to finding your teddy bears, your PDIs, your PTGCs, your solid X's, your X games. Everyone that got gains are the people who went opposite of the herd.
Yeah, we did have a pretty lackluster 25, and a big part of that was like Ethereum really didn't even keep up with Bitcoin, really, which was like that was very surprising even to me as well. I mean, the whole crypto industry.
Yeah, I mean that was the sad part about that. Also, we look at TA wise is we can go back down to $1,500,000, and then we can go right back to $5,000. And then we can go back to $1,000, and we go back to $5,000, and all you're doing is just on a long-term up and down. So that's why I say we need to stop piggybacking off of Ethereum, because if Ethereum is nothing in a long-term, let's just say a long-term trend of between $5,000 and $1,000, when is PulseChain ever going to get its bull market? So I think people's mindsets need to change away from PulseChain as much and start going towards other type of coins that can get you gains. Because the funny thing is when you get gains in those coins, other people from other chains come over to get a piece of those gains. And if PulseChain is not getting those gains, that's more money coming through the bridge, going to that coin. And what ends up happening is that's how Ethereum got big. It was people using all the other coins back in 2016 and 17, and people were speculating on all the ICOs. But what that did is that helped people come in, buy Ethereum, hold Ethereum, lock up Ethereum, and then the price of Ethereum went up because of that. So, I'm not saying that PulseChain can't do its own thing, but we need development. We need coins to go up. We can't just depend on PulseChain and Hex and Richard Hart and just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go up. It's like, no, there's no activity going on.
That was the biggest problem, was the reliance on Richard, right? Like, and I think it's a top-down leadership thing where if you have an absentee founder for years when you launch the project, so like he goes on all of the biggest podcasts, he starts talking about, he's showing off his lifestyle, showing off all of that, goes on different podcasts, and then all the legal issues happen. And then he completely disappears, right? But there's going to be people that come into that void, maybe bad actors, and then take over. And then there's failed leadership. And then there's like people siphoning off into different factions. And then you lose the leadership. And it's a top-down issue. So I like the fact that Richard's back. I like the fact that he's doing some recordings, but like not enough. He's complaining about his following count, and he's complaining about, but it's a top-down problem.
And that's what I want to say there too. Like, complaining about how many followers you got on any social media platform is bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I started with like 5 people watching this goddamn channel. Like, I don't care how many people are watching. I just want to, do what I want to do, right? I want to talk the things that I think are most interesting in crypto. And it's like, if people watch it, great. If people don't watch it, it is what it is, right? Like, he has to really push on social media, because he grew last cycle up to like 50,000, 60,000 subs.
50 to 300, 330.
Yeah. Well, and then he got up to $3,000 or 300,000 on the next one, right? So like the last 2 cycles, he's grown, even though he hasn't really done that much for half the time. So it's like, if he just stays consistent, like, it'll come. Like, and there's people in the community, like Bass knows a lot about, how Twitter's algorithm works. Me and Miguel know a lot about how YouTube algorithm works and stuff. It's like, hey, just come ask a few of the people in the space. Hey, like, we can make some AI agents. Let's help out, and like, let's get the word around. Like, let's coordinate,
Right. He knows that though, man. Let's be
fair. He knows what he has to do. He's just not fucking doing it.
Just like, do it. Yeah. Like, why is he not doing it is the question, right? So
right.
Like, there's still the red notice in place.
Yeah.
Once the red notice is gone, I think we get the old Richard back plus new tech. right? Like he understands these AI things. He talks about these AI things. He understands the concepts of teamwork versus doing it by yourself. I know he likes to do this cyberpunk thing where, you know, the community does it, but like once the shackles are off, and I believe the shackles are still on as far as him actually live streaming and doing things without extreme caution that basically hamper him quite a bit. I think everything is going to change, and we're all going to be shocked, even the true believers.
Yeah, the one thing I gotta say to like the red nose, because he did get one thing taken off, I'd heard, right, of that, which was the assault charge, which was total bullshit. Oh, I think you got to admit yourself.
Yeah, the of the two charges, the taxes one, I believe, was removed.
Oh, taxes was removed?
No, the taxes.
No, it was the assault.
The assault. It's the hitting of
Yeah, I'll go with SJ on that one. Yeah, I think it's the assault, because like that was total bullshit. I think they just threw that on there, so it's probably easy to take off. The tax one might just be jurisdictional issues. I'm pretty sure he was living in Estonia or whatever, not in Finland. So I don't know why Finland's claiming tax.
I want to say in my defense, I warned him about these blonde chicks. He didn't listen. All right, I did warn him in person. I told him, hey, bro, I mean, I get you like these blonde girls, but bro, these Nordic countries are fucking crazy, dude. That's all I said.
Estonia's nice though. Like I've been there once. It's not a bad place. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like I interviewed John McAfee about I think it was a year and a quarter before they got him, essentially. But he did a stream with us, and the only thing he required was that we had more than 10,000 subs. And then that we did it through Zoom, and he had his whole, get up. I think a lot of people thought it was crazy, but it worked for a while. Talking basically in a dark room or protected space where it didn't have, ability to kind of track him and stuff. And so like, I'm like, he interviewed people, or he did YouTube circuits for like a year before they finally arrested him. The only way they actually got him was, what do you call it? His wife had put a social media thing out about like some wine that they bought, and then the price was in Spanish currency, and so they're like, "Oh, he's in Spain," and then narrowed it down from there, which is kind of crazy, right? So I mean,
it was the wife that got him.
The government shit is real. You got to be super careful about that. So I get it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if it's like he's been gone this long. I'm not sure if we can really like be like, okay, he's gonna come back as soon as all the red tape is taken off. I'm like, hope so.
So my only thing is with that is and I understand the community. This is what the community heard, and you go off of his live streams, and that's all you can really go off of now. And I think the idea that the community bought into was we don't need anybody else. The SEC didn't matter. It doesn't care. And it absolutely did matter. Since the SEC announcement we didn't even touch that price. So it does matter.
30 million came off chain.
Yeah. We don't need influencers. Absolutely. You need influencers. In my opinion, if we didn't have a certain influencer and a couple of other influencers, we wouldn't even had the nice run that we had for what we did have. So I think what happened, I don't want to make this a bash Richard Hart. I can go all day.
No, but
it's with what you can learn from it. So it sounds like a bash, but you got to learn from it, because every bull market, including myself, who's been here since 2013, I learned something new every single bull market, and I learned from it. And best believe I'm not going to have a certain situation. So it's that fool me once, shame on you situation. Fool me twice, shame on me. You got to learn from that. And in my opinion, Richard Hart's nothing but a marketer. So he will get you to hold your coins. He will get you to lock up your coins. He will give you narratives to make you think something is going to happen. We have seen that in 2025. Different tweets, different things, So you gotta realize at the end of the day, as much you might love them, much you might, hope this happens, you have to take you got to take matters in your own hands, and you got to go make your gains. Do not depend on Richard Hart for Hex. Do not depend on Richard Hart for PulseChain. Do not depend on Richard Hart for PulseX. You have to go out and find your own gains and find those bullish products. You can absolutely hold the coins. I'm not saying dump the coins. I am saying dump the coins, but you don't have to hold them. But just realize that there are bigger and better things out there since Richard Hart launched Hex. Like, these are facts. You can look at the gains. There are bigger gains. There are coins that did way more than a 10,000x. 10,000x isn't even that great in crypto when you look at all the coins that did way bigger than that. They're good gains. They will change your freaking life. But when you depend on it, like, when is he coming back? I hope when he comes back, he's going to do this. Absolutely not. You can't think that way, because the SEC wasn't supposed to matter. And if you listen to that and you just sat there and waited and held, you missed the whole bull market. You missed the whole AI narrative. You missed base. You missed Solana go from $7 to back to $300. You missed all that. You missed Pump.Fun. Pump.Fun comes out and is tearing it up for 2 years, and then Pump.Tires comes out like the last thing, and everyone acts like it's the best thing on earth. It's like, bro, where the fuck you been at all this time? So you either have to learn and dig down on bear market times like this, and learn the game. It's time to learn the game. If you haven't figured it out, if you've been here since 2021 and you haven't had a single 50x in your portfolio, you do not know what you're doing here in crypto. It's that simple. You have no idea how to play the game. You don't know. You're going to get wrecked, and you're probably going to get wrecked in 2026, 2027, 2028. Because even when you first get your first 50x, I bet you won't even take any profit, because you don't know how it feels to take profit. So you don't even know what to do when you get your first 50x.
What's profit?
Or you might even sell your whole 50x, and then it goes and do it to 10,000x, and you look at yourself looking like an idiot. So this is the time to learn the game, whether it's subscribing to me on Twitter, whether it's just subscribing to DCC and Cultivate Crypto. Find a way to learn the game, because if you haven't received your first 50x yet, you're doing it all wrong.
And that kind of goes into, I know there's like all sorts of thoughts on all this stuff, but it does kind of lead into one of the things that I was thinking about prior to this stream, which was, so at the beginning of the last cycle, the back of my mind was thinking, okay, well, what can Wall Street do to basically fuck over crypto the most if they're coming into this market hard this cycle, right? My thing that I came up with at that point was just, maybe they can just buy as much Bitcoin as they can, suppress Ethereum somehow. And if they don't make sure Ethereum doesn't pump that much, then everybody in crypto won't make that much money. The Bitcoin maxis will, they'll take the money from the maxis, and then they'll have basically the reins of this market, which is what they've done. Liquidity is mostly in Wall Street right now. We don't really have Main Street or your average everyday Joe with as much savings. Their earnings are not getting, their salaries are not increasing past inflation. Basically, inflation's eating into all that. So retail is really not here. And if you look at Hex, PulseChain, and what they have been in the past, when they've done well, they've mainly been a retail-based chain, which is similar to the GameFi sector, financial gaming, right, in crypto. And that sector died massively this cycle too, because why? Did a little bit of cross-chain stuff, but it mostly, since it was catering to retail, not Wall Street, it didn't have much inflows of money either. Also, Ethereum not going to new all-time highs didn't help. So each cycle, like you're saying, you're learning what did you do last cycle that you did wrong, and what did you do well. But then in the next cycle, how are we going to change? Because we have AI that's not going away. Some people might think of it like an NFT craze, but I don't think it is. I think it's not going away. You have cross-chain. The more cross-chain you are, the better, basically, nowadays. And so it's like, okay, is even PulseChain going to be able to evolve with that? And that's kind of the question, because there's no way Wall Street's money is coming to this chain. You kind of need all retail organic development here, which is kind of the old school crypto way.
Yeah, like 90% of Wall Street money is going into like Ethereum stable coins, just buying raw Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then you have probably like 10% left over going into their ETF assets. From there, like venture capital will really only go into like Y Combinator / like PayPal Mafia coins, effectively, for the most part. So it's like there's no Wall Street money going to any like raw DeFi chains. It's just not happening. The money's coming from basically people, the overall market pumping up, and then there's a rotation into these risk tokens and stuff like this. I mean, like I know B-Root shows a lot of meme coins and stuff, but it's true. Like meme coins made so much money this cycle. Like me and Charlie were screaming at the top of our lungs to get people into like a Pepe coin in 23. And where was it? I think it was like 50 million market cap when we started talking about it, and it went to like 11 billion this cycle. But like, because it was a meme coin and it was still early in 23, a lot of people didn't want to listen to it. And then until Pump Fund came out, and then people were like, oh shit, I get it and stuff. But like, B-Roots was right. People missed the whole Solana run. Absolutely. Like we've been preaching about being multi-coiners for this entire time. I remember when I came into Hex, I got fucking berated because I wasn't a fucking maximalist. Like Litecoin Moses, how dare you talk about other altcoins and shit? I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit for that. But I had Bitcoin and I had Ethereum, and in 21 we had a much more viral cycle. But one thing that me and Charlie pivoted our guys in, we made sure they were at least 50%, 40% Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we could shoot for the stars. Because like, if half your fucking money is in Bitcoin and Ethereum during buying right now, and as it goes lower, then that side of the portfolio can save your ass on the retarded choices you make for the rest of your portfolio. But you can take shots because you got that insurance. But most people don't take that shot. And if you want to be all altcoins and meme coins, then you gotta be man enough to take all the fucking losses of you playing it wrong. And most people are not man or woman enough to take those losses because I don't know, they believe like influencer promises or founder promises, but like, you have to protect yourself. So like, I would get that insurance. I mean, at some point, like, don't buy Bitcoin, don't buy Ethereum, because it's like retardedly high, right? But if Ethereum goes to $1,000 and Bitcoin goes to like 48,000 or 30,000 or whatever, you're retarded not to buy it, because it's like picking up free money at that point. And then from there, you can then move all your DCAs to other coins, and let's start playing the game. Because like the altcoin game starts up as soon as Bitcoin and Ethereum bottom out. That's where you can make a ton of money on Solana. Base is going to launch a token at some point, and then you can move your money onto PulseChain if that's what you really want to do, and other things like that. Because the whole market, there's so much money sloshing around, and Wall Street's almost done putting all the infrastructure in place for them to put the big money in, because they're buying their bags right now.
Mm-hmm.
So on PulseChain, are meme coins the best thing to build out to get people to come onto this chain? Like, what is the way? Because like, if you look at Cardano, for example, right? Cardano has pumped very well each cycle. This last cycle, obviously, everything was disappointing in crypto in terms of altcoins, but Cardano's done very well. What has it done technologically? Like, what has it done with number of developers on chain and everything like that? Not really that much, but Charles Hodgkinson, through the ICO that he did in Japan back in, I don't even know, maybe 2016. Yeah. He has a group of whales, I mean, in Japan, who have, a lot of coins, right? And they buy, sell, they hold floors. I mean, I'm not going to call it necessarily insider trading, but they do, coordinate somewhat, right? There's some lady in Japan that's apparently like the number one trader in Cardano, and it's like, yeah, I wonder why, right? Been there since the ICO, but you don't really, I think when it comes to whales and PulseChain, you have more dumpers than anything, and people exit liquidating the chain, right? You don't really have a big group of people who are just like, okay, we're dedicated to the chain and we're working together. You had this kind of like king of the hill bullshit that happened this cycle with every influencer and every I'd say everybody in this group's a good team player, but like outside of this, there's a lot of people who are just like nipping at each other's ankles, trying to get gains any way they could. Most projects that did their, sacrifice phases basically took the money and ran. They could have put more liquidity towards their coins, but they basically
95% of them. Yeah.
Yeah. They put out some bullshit. Right. So it's like, okay, it's a chain of Jeets, chain of rugs, like, goddamn, like, you got, that has to change. Absolutely. And, that's only going to change through development, but then also like money changing hands. And I mean, that tends to be how a bear market works, right? It flushes out everybody who's not going to participate in the future. But then there's going to be some predatory people who are like, hey, I've been a whale in this area and I can fleece some stupid normies, so I'll just wait for them to pump the token halfway, and then they're going to think it's going to go on a 10x. I'll take profits on a 2x. And it's like, that's not going to help, long term either, right?
Well, you got to get people to hold at the end of the day. And I think what Richard did well the first time was Hex. And crypto's all about narratives at the end of the day. And you have to have a narrative that is different and something you haven't seen at all in crypto. So the reason why Hex did so well is because it was kind of the first, it was the first, that brought Uniswap and made that popular. and it was a first amongst DeFi summer. But it came out before DeFi summer.
Yeah.
So he was very fresh to the genre, and it did very well because it was one of the first. So then you come up with PulseChain, and then you say, well, okay, you're just copying. There's no demand. What's the demand? Why should I buy PulseChain versus Ethereum? Like, why? Give me a reason. And, the market did not believe in it because it was just a copy of PulseChain. So when you say, does meme coins need to be, we need more meme coins on PulseChain? Sure, absolutely. But what I see within PulseChain, Pepe coin comes on Solana. Oh, we're Pepe coin on PulseChain. Dragon coin comes out on Solana. Oh, we're Dragon coin on. It's like, what are you doing? You gotta be the person that creates that narrative. Be the first person that looks at TikTok and find those viral memes and put it on PulseChain and get people on PulseChain to really go into the point and do massive gains and find a Solana group of Solana people who wants to come over to PulseChain and participate in that meme. So we took that copycat. Yeah, I'll finish up. We took that copycat narrative and really like took it to extreme on PulseChain, where you only see the 5 or 6 coins, your PTGCs, your teddy bears. Hate it as much as you want. PDI actually created their own narrative and it made it into something. So literally, you can call it a scam, but guess what? They scammed you to the upside if you were willing to participate.
Until they didn't.
Until they didn't, but I got a 6,000x on the thing. So like, if there's any coin that you got half of that, cheers to you. But if you didn't, that is meme coins. Meme coins all day go up and go down and die 99% of them. Like what's the difference between Hex and PDI at the end of the day when it comes to gains in a chart? Nothing. So
especially the fact that the core principle of Hex, the staking side of things, has been absolutely nuked. And
that's a meme.
It got nuked, and then like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is a tactic. This is like the 5D chest. It's going to happen. There's going to be the pump, and it's nuked." So there's no incentive to hold Hex in terms of that was stake Hex.
Right, but we need a new. If you're in the tech, we need something technically that's something that has not been done in crypto. That's the way you have to think. So that needs to be put on PulseChain, and then you can have something technically that hasn't been done in all of crypto on PulseChain. And guess what? If I see something like that, I'm like, yo, that's a pretty bet. I've never seen that before. I'm going to buy it. But guess what? There's a ton of other people going to say that same thing. For example, like a PTGC. I'm like a massive shill of PTGC. And what it did is it took different forms of things that already been done. Your hexes, your cult, if you remember your cults. You can say Safe Moon, a little bit of Safe Moon. You put them all together, and then you make a meme out of it with an alien. Guess what? I don't know anything that's like PTGC. It's fresh, it's new, and that's the reason why I went from $50,000 to $400 million market cap. So you really have to think outside of the box, because we are in a industry. In order to be seen, you have to be. We're already in that think out of the box industry, but within that industry, you have to think outside of the box also to get that money.
Now, and also we're in a sort of, and I'll let SJ come in a minute. We're also in a different sort of mindset as well, because the reason 21 was so hyper. One, we had the COVID pumps, we had more people at home, we had all this money printing, but also all the OGs were 2017 OGs who made all their money literally, I made all my money from 2017 holding 3 fucking coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. That's all you had to do. I mean, it was the simplest shit in the world. And now every cycle gets harder, but it was a hodler mentality. And 21 was also a hodler mentality. But then what happened is we have a younger generation coming in, the Zoomers. I've talked about this plenty of times. They're fucking Jeets. The young guys are they don't know how to hodl just because they need fast cash and shit. And that's kind of the game. So the next cycle is going to be that, with maybe a little more hodling here and there, but it's going to be, Jeet season.
But I think it's going to be worse, man.
To that point, Miguel, I gotta push back on that, because
sure.
In the PulseChain ecosystem, all of the guys that made their money, excuse my language, just fucked off, right? And they just disappeared.
Yep.
So whether that's lawsuits or whatever, right? So whether there's that
You're talking about the
education,
projects?
they dipped. So who came in? The younger generation came in. They came in on the meme coins, and actually quite a few meme coins on PulseChain did extremely well, you know. And so yes, they're cheating more, and yes, because they're not going to put up with the bullshit. They're not going to put up with like, oh, I'm going to hold this until I round trip the whole thing. No, they're going to get in and get out. You know,
I'm gonna have to go back on that. Overall crypto, not just PulseChain. I'm talking overall crypto.
Oh yeah, like Solana for sure, but like, but I think PulseChain, if you look at the young generation who have actually taken over the chain because all of the OGs decided to dip and disappear, you know, and then now, you know, they're still around. They're still on spaces. They're still producing stuff. They're still trying to put the work in, still trying to promote it. And also they're now using Claude and different AI stuff to try and produce something. They didn't get sacrificed to build something out. They did it themselves, no coders, all of that kind of stuff. And so like the guys that made their money from Hex like dipped. And so what does that make you think? You think that you are exit liquidity for the OGs. When you hear like guys like guys who raised money, right? Built a project out, gave it a few months, dipped, right? What are you going to do? You're going to go into the meme coins. You're going to go into the, you know, the quick pump and dumps, and you're going to jump in and then probably cheat when you make some money.
Right.
And fair play to them.
But there's a difference between like the guy, like what I'm trying to say. I'm not because what I'm trying to say is like the guys that were in Hex back in the day just held for a long time and then took profits versus like what I'm saying is like there's kind of like too many, like it's kind of this whole analysis paralysis where yes, you have to like, especially, I mean, and obviously meme coins are a great way to make money fast and stuff, but you're kind of in and out. Like we need to go back to like getting into some good projects. And I'm saying there's good projects in PulseChain, but what I'm just saying is the overall, this has been the narrative that's been pushed out in crypto because of like Pump.Fun and then Pump.Tires and everybody else who's doing it, is that's the strategy. But like it's taught this current generation to be much more just fast cashing out, basically, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Because they're not really holding much coins. I mean, like, they're not really.
So that's
holding
a perfect transition for what I'm trying to say.
Yes, go
because look, like I know I'm the minority here. I got in because I believed in censorship resistance. The narrative of Hex being something that I could put my funds in and hold for 15 years. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. I love the cypherpunk, just like the whole, everything behind it, all the ideals, everything that has to do with getting our money away from centralized places, away from the banks. Hearing all of those things when I got into Hex and PulseChain, that is 110% the reason why I got in and the reason why I'm still here. Not chasing pumps, not mad gains, not fast cash turnovers. And I strongly believe that there are more people like me out there that just have not heard of these products, that don't know yet, that will hear about them and get excited and get in. Because at the end of the day, like it's more secure to me than anything else that I could have put my money in at the time. And I'd rather hold my money in Hex than a 401k or a high yield savings account. It makes way more sense to me still to this day.
So SJ, can I be a very devil's advocate to that speaking point? I agree with the people that had that thought process pre the OA doing what they did. I personally would rather have my money in JP Morgan because I know that in 10 years, I'm going to get 3-5% or whatever I sign up for on my money. So like that's guaranteed. And I don't think that would ever change. Whereas Hex, it has been labeled that all the haters that hated on Hex were 100% correct in everything that they said, because he was able to change everything that he said wouldn't happen. And it did happen. So when I try to make a 10-year investment with my money for my kids, when I like, for example, what if I staked out for my kids $20,000 because I think that in 20 years, $20,000 is not even going to get them a semester. And I think if Hex even just stays at the price as it is, I will be able to make yield for the next 15 years and be able to keep gathering that and take that money out and be able to put my kids in college. That all changed last year. So when I say that cypherpunk movement was a good narrative, I don't think Hex is the one because it can be changed. I can't make any long-term goals based on that. Now, if he didn't do the staking, I would be with you 100%. I believed in that narrative. I was 100% all for it. But I mean, he's changed the game. So what makes it?
Why did he change?
I mean, like, why would I stake? Like, it's like, what's the point anymore?
Right. Those are levers that the OA could pull, right? So like it pulled the levers for reducing the inflation on Hex to reduce the sell pressure, right? The OA pulled other levers to reduce the ink inflation, to reduce liquidity, like very intentionally. Like anybody who says like, oh, he's just selling, he's trying to get out. Well, then he wouldn't have reduced the ink inflation because that reduced the liquidity. It was very much on purpose. He's created this ultra low liquidity situation where like the amount of money to pump, not just the meme coins on PulseChain, not just the core tokens, everything on PulseChain is extremely low in crypto terms. So like we could have like
if it makes lower lows, it's a red flag. You know, like this idea that low liquidity is like really beneficial for the chain.
Then why did he do it on purpose? Is the question.
Well, the idea that you said was he went low liquidity because he was going to, you know, like there was going to be some injection and it was going to pump. And this has been the idea. Like I remember when Hex back in 22, like went into a low liquidity state, and people were like, yeah, this is really bullish for the chain. And it's like, really? Are you sure about that? You know, like looking back, you're like, oh, actually, the price went lower and lower and lower and lower. You know, and
really,
so I don't know if that's the benefit.
Like we can only go forward. We keep talking about all the stuff that happened before, but like, yeah, the SEC tried to sue Richard Hart. All these things happen. Like, yes, you could have made more gains on Solana, but like at this point with these prices, I think we're looking at very close to all-time lows on all core tokens. And I still know this guy that I think has 160, 1,000 ETH, maybe more, and a bunch of cash on hand that could send this stuff to the moon. I'm not saying we should count on that. I think we should keep building, keep shilling, new projects, more new core tokens, new meme coins, whatever you want. But like, I'm far from giving up on PulseChain. I think this may be the day that people look back on to say, oh shit, I missed that 10,000x. And we know that Richard calculates the X's from the bottom, not from the launch price, right? Not from the price last month. It'll be whatever the bottom is. So
that's the reason
the bottom's
why
in right now. That's what he's calculating those X's
from. Wrecked though, because they put their money in crypto when they can, and then when they get wrecked, they have no more money and they leave. That's not the best way to grow. So when you count it from the bottom, it's actually a flaw that he does that. Because what about all those people that sacrifice billions of dollars? Their $10,000 is worth what, $800 right now? Some people took out mortgages. Some people committed suicide. Some people there's all kinds of things. So
people are responsible for their own financial choices, right?
If you don't
that's
think
not
that
all on Richard.
Yeah, but it's funny that it goes back to the responsibility of the individual at that point when there is expectation. Right. And
not Richard's fault, by the way, that stuff happened. So
and also, again, to me, it comes back to top-down leadership because you control the narrative as the founder, right? So if you are dipping, right, you launch the project, you have a massive big marketing campaign, and I don't care if it's a legal issue because there are people outside of the ecosystem that have had legal issues. Some guys have even been in prison for 4 months, and yet they still do more. And they still present themselves and they still get out there more. And we get a pre-record once a year. I'm not trying to hate on it, but I'm like, man, you talk about, you become the reply guy now at the end of the bull market, become the reply guy and talk about different subjects. People will invest their money and hold their money into an asset if you are present. If you abandon the community, you suddenly get bad actors that then take up that role. And then you wonder why people are extracting from this particular ecosystem.
Yeah,
what do you expect?
There are bad actors, but we know that Richard has a red notice. Like none of us here have a red notice. It's a big deal, right? And Money Gang, you know that better than anybody.
Does it matter?
Then get out of those areas, bro.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's part of his strategy.
What's
Yeah.
Ghosty
What?
Hunters?
Yeah.
700 DPS. Scratchy, man.
Yo, Cultivate. I got a question for you. Can you bring up a question that Charles Fuchs said? 247. B-Roots is an idiot. 99% of all chains are wrecked. So let me. This is the problem. Like you listen too much of. That's the mindset of a brokey, in my opinion. Bitcoin is higher than when PulseChain came out. Ethereum's higher from when PulseChain came out. BNB's higher than PulseChain came out. XRP's higher than PulseChain came out. Solana's higher than PulseChain came out. Dogecoin is high. Dogecoin might not be. Cardano might not be. Monero is higher than PulseChain came out. Canton's higher and came out after PulseChain. Stellar is higher than when PulseChain came out. I can go all day. You think that 99% of coins are wrecked? They're not. If you got in those coins when PulseChain came out, your actual portfolio would be up. If you got in the PTGC when PulseChain came out, when it came out, your portfolio is up. Even if PDI, if you bought it when I called it and got out at like half the price of the top, your portfolio is up. Teddy Bear, your portfolio is up. So that mindset of I'm wrecked because 99% of the crypto space is wrecked, that's what I'm talking about. Your mindset needs to change. That mindset needs to change because it's wrong.
And B-Roots is complete and utter bullshit because a lot of those coins ended up doing a new all-time high. Maybe it wasn't a 2x from what it did in 2021, but it actually, like Ethereum had terrible price performance, but it still did $4,900 when the previous all-time high was like 448. You know, XRP
why?
did all. Huh?
Well, I was gonna say, like, kind of the question is why is that, right? And that's because those coins that had success had whales that stuck with the project, basically got at least some narratives going in the bull market enough to get back to previous all-time highs and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at how Eric Trump played the bottom there, going into the post-election for Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum went from 1,500 back to 5,000. A bad run, right? If you caught the bottom. But like, yeah, I think like the kind of what you were pointing to for some of the problems before is like you got too much extraction and not enough people who are, supposedly leaders in this community, right? They're rugging their own community. They're basically, what do you call it? A wolf in sheep's clothing and just saying, hey, I want to fuck over the community. They're not actually trying to,
Charlie, we need to make a distinction between whales in the community and their ex-wives.
But even with them though, man, a lot of people snatch it on PulseChain. I measured it out with Ian, and actually PulseChain had the third biggest L1 bull market in all of crypto. We counted it out and tried to find a coin that did a 6,000x, which PDI did, and there wasn't many of them. So PulseChain had a coin that was in the top of all of crypto. PTGC is one of the top in all of crypto. And I'm talking about with like liquidity. I'm not talking about, we started at $1,000 and we cashed out 10 million market cap and barely no one could cash out. Like these were like multi-$100 million market caps. Some of them almost went to $1 billion. And when you count up all the projects that actually did gains, forget your illiquid loans, forget your no power city, forget your rectum, throw that all aside. Instead of complaining about those people, which I complained, but at the same time, I did something about it by going elsewhere and finding gains on PulseChain. Believe it or not, PulseChain is the number 3 L1 when it comes to PRC20s or the coins under them that actually did a lot of gains. There's not a lot of coins. There's one coin on Sui. Sui, the most marketed coin ever. There's one coin on Sui that absolutely smashed it in the likes of PDI, PTGC. We've got multiples.
It was probably Lofi. It was probably Lofi.
Yeah, Lofi. It's like they're a big one. That's it. Maybe Walrus. I think Walrus did well.
I think Walrus did okay. Yeah.
B-Roots.
Yeah,
I think I could add to this part real quick.
These subcoins did very, very well. Like the subcoins on PulseChain, if you'd change your stance and change your mindset from being like core coins only, you would have done well. Right? There's so many different things. Even when Richard released Pump Tires way too late, right? Really with the kind of meme coin run and Launchpad narrative had already done its thing. But yeah, still, Most and Pump and lots of different stuff actually did all right. And there was opportunities there. But yeah.
How many people missed those gains? You ready for this? This is the funniest part. We all know who launched them. How many of you missed those gains because you said, oh, that ain't Richard Hart? Oh, yeah, no, there's no way that's Richard Hart. And you saw it go to 10 mil. Oh, no, I'm cool. I'm not. I don't do meme coins. 20 mil market cap, 50 mil market cap, no, 100 mil. Okay, it might be Richard Hart. Too late.
And then you bought the top.
Too late. And now you're like saying, wow, it's like horrible. That is crypto. The mindset needs to change. It's that simple.
I think Hayden wanted to say something there.
Yeah, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to add just, it kind of covers a lot of this. It even covers SJ's comment a little bit, because I feel that same way as what SJ was saying is in the real world, it's hard to find good places to store value. B mentioned the JP Morgan, diversified investments accounts and stuff like that. I have a decently large one. I've been diversifying in that direction for the last 10 years with my in real life business. And one of the reasons why I got into DeFi so heavily is I was watching inflation outpace the gains from even those more traditional investments. And, I kind of felt like that with what SJ was saying is like, that's why we believe in these DeFi protocols. And it is nice to have self-custody and all these things, but also nice being exposed to something that can do more gains than some of these more traditional things. And then it goes into like, why build on PulseChain? Why be on PulseChain? It offers this very, very unique opportunity where gains can come very fast, just like B Roots was saying. When you measure the gains that were made on PulseChain compared to other blockchains, the opportunity is actually here a lot higher than other blockchains because the other blockchains are already up 100x. And that 100x is the easiest 100x you can get as far as being a holder or a builder, because that 100x is a multiplier to whatever protocols you are in on top of it. So like, for an example, PulseChain is 10x below the sacrifice price right now. If we just go back up the sacrifice price, let's say in the next couple of years, that's a 10x multiplier to whatever you can do in the sub tokens that you hold on the chain. So like for me, obviously I'm heavy in PTDC and UFO. I believe in PTDC and UFO as premier store of values on this chain. So this is where I'm going to park my capital. If PulseChain gives me a 10x, which let's be honest, do you think Ethereum is going to give you a 10x in the next couple years? Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's possible? Well, there's no alts on Bitcoin, but for me, I don't necessarily think in the next couple of years Ethereum's going to do a 10x. I think it's easily possible for PulseChain. It actually only takes a few $1 million in net positive value to make PulseChain do that. Like it takes very, very little capital to get PulseChain back up to sack rate because of the little liquidity. And then what that means for protocols and builders is we get that free ride. We get a free 10x multiplier to whatever we can do as a sub community. And that's putting that's almost taking your future into your own hands by going into like the sub community that you want to take responsibility for. Mine's obviously PTGC. So if our sub community can do a 10x, which I think only costs it's $3.5 million at these liquidity levels for PTDC to do a 10x over PulseChain. If PulseChain goes back to sack rate, PTGC community members are exposed to a 100x from these levels. Like it's very, very easy to do extreme amounts of X's when you're on an extremely undervalued blockchain. Most blockchains are not undervalued. Most blockchains are already done 100 to 1,000x. So I think Richard has a setup for us to have a very, very powerful bull run. I completely agree with Fast Duel. I think that the inflation cuts were necessary to get distribution better. I think the distribution wasn't getting better on PulseChain because there was a constant minting of more supply. So they actually were never having to get into their initial tokens, making it to where this downtrend was never ending. So yeah, it definitely hurts when the rules change a little bit, especially if you're depending on that inflation. But the inflation of Hex, I think it was making so the distribution of the token supply of main RH core assets wasn't getting better as fast as it should. And when he cut that, it's actually sped it up. A lot of people don't realize that 90% of the top 100 stakers have already sold, or sacrificers have already sold their tokens.
I love the kind of the pitch there, but the problem is that the barrier in terms of the expectations as the price lowers and lowers and lowers, people start to go, I bought my units at this price, I need it to go to this price. So what was like a floor, maybe a 10-cent hex or maybe a 20-cent hex, is now 1 cent. And now where the price is now, where you got like 2 zeros and a 1, or wherever it went
Many
down
zeros,
to.
many zeros. Yes.
Many zeros, right? Many zeros. I'm like, I hope it just gets back to 1 cent, right? And then when you talk about Pulse, right, we're looking at like 5 zeros, and sacrifice price was way above that, and as the price of Ethereum, as the treasuries, bought it at $3,700, the it's going lower and lower and lower, and people are scooping up units at such a cheaper price that even if you're you're literally going against the tide, you're pushing against that storm, right? And you're going to struggle to even get back to that. And yes, it's great to say, if it gets back to the sack price, from this bottom, it's like 100x, 1000x, whatever. But now you have people who have accumulated those units at such a low price, at such a cheap price, that when it does a 10x, they're going to sell. And they're going to dump it, and they're going to cause that sell pressure, and you'll wonder why has it never got back to sack price.
Yeah,
right?
But
so
you got
and people think that this low liquidity state is amazing for the chain, like as if that's great. No, because you have people that are like, this is an opportunity. This is so cheap. I'm going to sell this way before that. I'll sell it for a 2, 3, 5x, and I'll demolish that price.
So
show me those giant buys. Like, who's coming in at the lows and dropping $500,000 on PulseChain? Like, we would be seeing that.
You don't need. That's the thing. You don't need a $500,000.
You don't even need a $500,000. Yeah, exactly. To be Rich's point, because if it keeps going lower and lower and lower and lower, and you don't make price floors, right? You're buying these huge amounts of units for nothing.
But you're just buying what someone else sold. But someone else just sold it at that price, so the unit just transferred hands. And what we're hoping
sold it
as a community,
because it wasn't holding price levels.
Yeah, because they lost their conviction because the investment didn't do what they thought.
It went lower.
So I think the only thing
structure, it's gonna destroy the price. And I hate to be this bearish guy, and come on and say that, but like, if we're not having held price structures, it's going to be painful. And if we're going to lower the liquidity further and further and further, it's not bullish. It's going to cause more cascading effect to the downside, because you're going into a trend that's bearish.
This is
Ethereum is probably headed to a grand.
This is why I say get out of that stuff. So I'm like probably the most hated person for anyone that's like a core maxi, and I understand why they are a core maxi. In my opinion, they're a core maxi because their dollar costing averaged down from them buying a top, and that's fine. We've all been there, so I'm not going to try to sit there and LARP on that because it sucks, and I understand it sucks. But what I've been saying this whole time is you need to change your mindset, and I agree with both parties. Actually, it's funny or not, I actually do agree with both parties and what they're saying. I more stand on the side of Money Gang and what you think about it's just going to keep going down and people are going to keep selling, because I do think it's extremely top heavy for the reasons we don't need to go deep down and why, but it can keep going down easily. And like Money Gang said, when it goes up, they're going to be dumping for sure, because those people saw 50, 75, $100 million. And now they're seeing 50, 75, $100,000. So it's a big difference. So when they see 1 million, 2 million, 3 million again, those guys are dumping. And that's going to be more sell pressure on OA 100%. And this is why I preach without a doubt, like, you must change your mindset and go elsewhere. I'm not saying dump your coin, but if you're going to DCA, you DCA into strength, not into weakness. Maybe those coins will come back one day. I'm one of them. I bought Bitcoin at a high in 2013. freaking started going down. I was like, I lost my money, forgot about it. Come 2016, 17, I open up my computer. Oh shit, this is how much it's worth now. Let me start streaming, blah, 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 and absolutely smash it. I didn't just stick with Bitcoin. I went to XRP next, under a penny. And started, like freaking absolutely smash.
How could you? How could you? No. This is, I was a B-Roots fan until that point. All right, never mind.
But what I'm saying is, if you believe in hacks, why the fuck don't you believe in PTGC?
Well, you said to DCA into string.
It is a greater hex. Why aren't you into PTGC? Why aren't you shilling PTGC and hex? And like, I love these two tokens because they both give me the same feeling because they should. But the only reason they're not doing that is because the price is going down. And they're trying to make their bag better as it goes up and do it. And they're just focused on that. And I'm just like, dude, Richard Hart has hex. When the time comes, he will shill it through the freaking his voice can't speak anymore. As people that are like in the chain, we need other coins to go up and have just as good of a narrative as hex. And in my opinion, on the chain right now, that is PTGC. There's no speculation. There's no PDI to a $1. It's Richard Hart part of it. I can understand why you hate a PDI. I don't understand why there's a lot of hate on like a PTGC. This coin is going up when the market's not even going up.
I didn't even know
this
there was
going up, and PulseChain sitting where it's at. So everything that hated on it, oh, you need PulseChain to go up. Well, actually, PTGC is the only coin on PulseChain that doesn't need PTGC. That doesn't need Pulse. PTGC does not need PulseChain to go up. We have proven that.
Bingo.
And hold on, here's the big second thing. And there are other coins in crypto that PTGC can go up without PulseChain going up.
And quick question then. So I want to ask this question to both Prairie and Hayden then, because I thought this was a good point to what B-Roots was saying earlier. And I've thought about this too, because me and Miguel have thought about building projects. And Franklin here, OG of the chat, says, B-Roots, it is more likely, why would I put tech on PulseChain? So I want to kind of pose that to the people who have put tech on PulseChain, right? So Prairie and Banana, why would more projects want to come and build stuff like you guys have?
Charlie, do you mind if I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
I apologize to take that question, but
exactly, KJ, but you've built the wallet there, so it's not a coin project necessarily, but still.
So I will say this as a statement of fact. There is no team on PulseChain that has built more technology for PulseChain than Internet Money. I'll have the debate with anybody any day. We are the only project that has brought PulseChain to the 3 world's largest app stores. Internet Money is in over 176 different countries. Every single country that the Google Play Store supports, Internet Money is there. We have we have communities in Somalia that use Internet Money because their local banks suck and they can't really get bank accounts, but they have crummy Android phones and they use cryptocurrency as their actual currency to exchange goods and services in their local community. Things like PTGC, things like Fast Abdul is built, things that anybody has built, all great things. They don't matter if they're not accessible. So we have a tool on PulseChain that makes PulseChain absolutely accessible. Example, if I ask somebody what wallet they use for Solana, I would make a bet, put a prediction market up. I'll make that bet that 99.9% of those people are going to say Phantom. The wallet is completely unified by the Solana community. Well, here on PulseChain, we have our own Phantom. We have a lot of support. A lot of people, Fast Abdul, Charlie, and DCC, and SJ, you guys have been awesome supporters of Internet Money. So I'm not saying nobody is supporting Internet Money. We have tons of support. But we're talking about all these things that Internet Money checks all these boxes. Everything you guys have talked about, Internet Money checks that box. B-Roots, you said, oh, hey, people need to innovate, invent. Well, we've invented tons of things that exist only in Internet Money. We brought it to PulseChain first. So every single thing that anybody has talked about here, Internet Money is a part of that solution. So really the discussion becomes, why are we not talking about the one thing? Actually, you can buy Pulse directly with your debit card right through Internet Money. You can bridge to PulseChain from 40 different chains, including Bitcoin, right through internet money. Native, it's native to PulseChain. It's open source. It tracks the price of every single PulseChain asset, every single one. It's got logos for all your tokens. Why aren't we talking about that? Because if you guys were all talking about it, if that's what we spent the last 20 minutes talking about, if you guys are making content about it, oh my goodness, PulseChain would be so much easier to access. But instead, we want to LARP and play MetaMask games because MetaMask sucks for PulseChain. Rabby sucks for PulseChain. All these other wallets suck for PulseChain. We've built the tool. So you guys want to solve problems? We gave it to you. You can keep pretending it doesn't exist, and that's up to you. But the solution's there.
There's one thing that I know would definitely get more talk about the wallet, right? Is if the wallet had a coin. That's always what happens, right? The coin gets a lot of attention, but I agree with you 100%. Like, it's awesome that you guys have done that. My question kind of comes back to that other question I had, right? Which is, like, from your experience of what you guys have done with these projects, right? Like, why would other people want to come and build here? Because, like, KG, you've said, like, hey, I've built all this stuff for this ecosystem, right? It's awesome. Like, and we have the rails ready here to bring a lot of people in. Do you feel like maybe you would have had more success doing the same thing on another chain, or did you have the most success that you wanted to have here? Like, what have been the positives of building on PulseChain, I guess I should say?
Well, in the beginning, the positive was really the large community support. But now the PulseChain community has dwindled so heavily, unfortunately. I mean, we're still here. We still build for PulseChain. But if you were a builder on PulseChain right now, it would be very hard to invest your money to build a product, because the truth of the matter is, in a successful ecosystem, you need the builders and you need the influencers. And the influencers on PulseChain don't do a good job of actually bringing awareness to the awesome things we have here. Crypto Coffee, I think he's an exemption to that rule. He does an awesome job. You know, if we classify him as just an influencer, not a builder. But other than that, influencers aren't doing their part. So it's unfortunate that if you come here and build, you're almost certainly going to build in a silo. You're going to get little to no attention, and you're going to get little to no users because people will not really talk about you. And now we've been able to overcome that because we're multi-chain. We've got a big community on Ethereum and Base. And so now we're no longer reliant on just the PulseChain support.
Did I just hear diversification? Beautiful.
I love it. I am a crypto guy. I love PulseChain. PulseChain's my home base, but I love crypto.
You're going to have a big next cycle. Is just don't disappear. Same thing I would say with PGTC. I mean, the thing is like when we were talking about investing in the top altcoins in the ecosystem when they're down a lot, which I totally agree with that, right? It's just like, but then what would happen if the guy who's running PGTC just fucks off?
Yeah.
Then the coin would go to shit. Sure, it has the mechanics it could run in the background. It could run for a long time, lad. But eventually, you know, if you don't have you need this is one thing that I disagreed with, like Richard and a lot of other guys, was like there's this huge discount on influencers. You need to advertise. You need a market. There's the squeaky wheel gets all the grease.
I'd love to jump in on this.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay, I've been waiting to say this. The Grays, PTDC and UFO, the community has decided we're not waiting for PulseChain. We are going out and getting, if I could just put it that way, no coiners or friends and family, bringing them onto the chain. And of course, they're going to land on PTDC and UFO. We've been doing that. And we recently built an incentive program that actually monetarily compensates our community for doing that. And not only that, when they come into our community, when they come onto our beloved chain, we are helping them acclimate to the Grays currencies and PulseChain. How are we doing that? Every single week we do a stream and we're like, come on guys, you want to learn about PTDC and UFO and ask all of your questions? Come to this 90-minute stream every single week. And we just recently started a once a week, it's a stream that equips our community to how to go out and get those no coiners or those friends and family, how to behave on Twitter and YouTube, how to make your referral link, how to shill it, how to, all the steps for marketing PTGC and PulseChain to, in particularly, no coiners. Why are we after no coiners? Because they tend to be very good holders and not bounce around and sell here and go over, buy this, and they just like to diamond hand their assets. That's what the Grays have been up to recently.
I like that. And so I know you had a couple of sites that you wanted to look at some stats for the Grays and everything. Before we do that, because I do want to kind of highlight you guys a little bit, because I do like the Grays as one of my favorite projects on PulseChain, if not my favorite project on PulseChain. And I appreciate the shills from everybody on the panel. I'll ask SJ to shill a little bit about some of the stats with what's going on with the tablets as well here. But can you share my screen, Kyle? Oh, I haven't shared it yet? Okay, I thought I already did that. Technical. Please hold on a second here. We are live, baby. All right. So, all right, can you see that?
Yep.
I mean, so the thing that I thought was really interesting here, just with your price action on your guys' project. So the thing I thought was most interesting here was basically, if we just look at, the last couple of weeks, right? Bitcoin finally broke out of the high 60K range into the 70K range. Now it's back down. And so the breakout here, just in terms of PTGC, you had some ability. Now, obviously, the weekly close is probably going to be closer to the 20-week or 10-week moving average. So I don't think it's going to confirm this breakout. It's probably going to chop around a little bit more. But just that, if Bitcoin gets a really, really nice bounce and the wider crypto community gets bullish, there seems to be a good amount of money that's coming right into PTGC first on PulseChain rather than necessarily into maybe PulseChain and PulseX themselves, right? So if we were to say, okay, well, what if Bitcoin wasn't breaking back down right now? What if Bitcoin was actually breaking out of 75K? What would be happening on this chart? We'd get a pretty good weekly close, and if that were to continue on Bitcoin, I would gather that PTGC would probably continue this run as well. So it's more dependent on the wider crypto market here, and than it is necessarily on Pulse and PulseX. Of course, if Pulse and PulseX do well, this is going to do extra well too, based on how it's designed. But can you kind of give us a few of your guys' stats? Maybe, I don't know if you want to share any screen on any of your websites or anything, but it does seem like once we get done with macro bearishness in crypto, PTGC will come back pretty strong, is the vibes I'm getting.
Sure. Zen, I'm willing to share my screen if you want to just kind of walk through the ptdc-ufo.com or the main site, goptdc.com. I've got either of those ready.
Yeah, let's go first through ptdc-ufo.com, maybe to the charts page, because we were just kind of comparing PTGC against a lot of more legacy tokens. I did want to chime in to KG real quick. I completely hear you out, KG. Just so you know, on the new onboarding page that we created for our in real life onboarding, we specifically listed Internet Money there as one of the wallets.
Go. That is winning legendary work. Keep it up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. Obviously, I'm not someone all day long showing Internet Money or anything like that. I make PTGC my job, but where I can, I try to give the little shout outs on our website, and there's a link right there to you guys. And we're doing that because we're trying to make it easy for no coiners or other blockchain users to come to PTGC, and we're trying to give them the good tools. And we believe you guys are one of those good tools. So I wanted to point
Thank you.
that out.
I truly appreciate that. You are truly appreciated. Absolutely legendary status. And I mean that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of our new sites. One of our community members built a whole entire dashboard for PTGC. It does a lot of great stats. I'm going to go through a couple things on here. This one here is just a chart, and you can compare PTGC and UFO against a list of different tokens. It could be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, XRP, Hex, Pulse, PulseX, and kind of just compare them and their movements. Recently, crypto kind of hit a very low level. It could be going lower. A lot of people think it is going lower. How much lower? Who knows? Maybe that is the low. I'm not going to guess either way. But one thing I've really noticed about PTGC and UFO is when things bottom and you measure off of those bottoms, PTGC and UFO make massive moves against a lot of other things. Like it appreciates a lot in value just due to how liquidity works and liquidity flowing down and reflexivity. It's very difficult to find the exact bottom. So I would suggest, more of a DCA kind of style of, just getting in at prices you think are great discounts. PTDC right now, I think, is at like a 90% discount from its all-time high. The local low was like a 95% discount. So I think personally, great ranges if you're looking to expose yourself to something that is aiming to be a premier store value token. I personally believe as far as store value mechanics, we're trying to take out the biggest dogs in the name. We're deflationary. We have automatic liquidity ads. We have reward systems for onboarding to the project. We are getting better distributed every single day. We're almost up to 18,000 holders. But this is our chart against, if you want to throw Bitcoin and Ethereum on there real quick, Banana, you can kind of see a month ago, things got pretty low and started trending upwards. And you can see PTGC and UFO both made a massive move. I think this illustrates the moves we can make when things don't even move, just due to our own community, our own onboarding, and the fact that our community is somewhat strong on this chain. You're mentioning earlier that there is this issue of when people pick up very, very cheap tokens on PulseChain or Hex, we do have to work ourselves through that sell pressure in the future. I completely get that. I have my own project. One thing PTGC I think does very, very well is once it kind of does its retracement, it usually can hold very strong levels to where it's not giving people those tokens for extremely cheap, which helps us move to the next level, right? So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of sell pressure because we're not going into those pico bottom levels where ultimately you're giving tokens to everyone for very cheap again, and then you're going to have to go through a whole nother distribution phase all over again. We're structuring, slowly moving up and to the right, and that's kind of what you want, and distribution will start to get better and better and better as time goes on. But here you can just see PTGC and UFO versus some of the more legacy tokens, and we're doing really well in the recent month, where a lot of other assets aren't doing super well. Recently, we had our reward system go live, where if you are an influencer or a community member, one thing I've noticed is hard within cryptocurrency is you're never directly rewarded for your efforts. When you onboard or when you educate, you're rewarding pretty much everyone in the community equally with price appreciation. Well, what this gives our community is a way to reward people directly for their efforts. So if you're onboarding into PTGC, which if you're onboarding other blockchain users or people that are no coiners, you're technically also onboarding them to PulseChain because they have to get PulseChain to get into PTGC. So it actually pushes the price up of all assets on chain, Hex, PulseX, etc. But you're directly being paid for doing so. Anytime you onboard, let's say you onboarded 100 million PTGC token buys, let's say it's $100,000. 2% of that buy, you get paid at the end of the month through our DAO. So PTGC has a DAO that generates revenue, and we're now rewarding our community for onboarding people to the community. So you get paid 2% of whatever you onboard throughout the whole entire month. I think this is massive for our token. I don't know of a lot of systems in cryptocurrency that are set up as deflationary assets that also pay you for actively onboarding to the community. And it, I believe, is going to be a massive tool for us to not only DCA the bottom of PulseChain, but also get some of the strongest community members directly taken care of for their work and their efforts.
Nice. Very, very
Shall
nice.
we have a look at the affiliates page here, either here on or on Go PTGC?
Real quick. Can you make that PTGC, PulseChain, and Hex only?
Yep.
Real fast.
Both hexes?
Just P hex, no E hex. Gotcha. Okay.
Data don't lie. But yeah, B-Roots, did you want to say something before? I know you had to maybe head out in like 5-10 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, man. Just I just typed the KG, but I have no problem saying it to everybody else because I have 1,000 people watching right now. So check out Internet Money Wallet. All seriousness, all joking aside, we've had many conversations in KG, man. So like I know everything, the lows, the highs. I know everything he's went through. But I know how to grow, and this goes for the influencers. I've been talking to Banana about this. These are things of how to grow as an influencer, and I'm sure DCC, you guys will be able to pitch into this once I'm finished here. When it comes to KG and the wallet, I've always said you got to go away from this small ecosystem that we have here. We think it's big. It's really not big. It's puny. And there are bigger fish out there. Concentrate not just on PulseChain, but those other chains. You absolutely have to. If you want to grow as an influencer, you have to. If you want to grow as a person, you have to. So don't just focus on the one thing. Really, really smash it. Try kind of be a player in each game. So I think, KG, concentrate on base. I know people want to hate me for this. Concentrate on base. When you concentrate on base, just like I concentrated on meme coins, I brought a lot of people in the PulseChain by concentrating on something the PulseChain people and the Hex people absolutely despise and hated. But now I would probably say I'm half hated because half the people are like, man, this guy might be right. He might be onto something. So if you concentrate on the base, I do think you could double, triple, quadruple your numbers. And then once that's done, when people believe in you, when people listen to you because you've created a product that they really like, look at Jesse from Base. Like anytime he says something about project, everyone's like, you be that guy for wallets. Be on the internet doing that guy for wallets. Concentrate on Base. Concentrate on the bigger platforms. And then once you get all those people, if you still believe in PulseChain, which I think you will, you lead them over to here, and you become the influencer that talks about.
And one kind of interesting thing for you and your audience to know, B-Roots, before you head out. So on Cultivate Crypto on this YouTube channel that we're streaming from here, on Wednesday, March 11th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will have an interview with Alex, who is the CEO or founder of Aerodrome. So the best projects on Base. And so I do think Base is going to be a place that a lot of people build next cycle. So would love to see Internet Money Wallet there.
When is that day? Is that this Wednesday? Next or
Wednesday the 11th, which is the upcoming Wednesday.
There you go.
Well,
so,
first of all,
and by the way, can we get over the phobia in our community of like reaching out to other communities? It's really not that bad. They actually are in the same industry that we're in, and they're actually pretty nice people, and they actually are interested in us. If we don't shove it down their throats and say, "This, you have to buy this, you have to buy Hex, you have to buy," they actually will interact with you. Like we've seen this recently with Andy Leanne's spaces, where we're talking to all the BNB guys, and they're coming into our spaces, and we're chatting to them, and we're explaining the whole thing, the unfiltered version of PulseChain, and exactly what it is. And you're getting BNB guys suddenly talking about PulseChain and understanding what we're about. So let's get over the phobia and the fear of actually talking to other chains. It's not that bad. There's some great people out there, and you can interact and you collaborate and do great stuff with them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree completely.
I've been doing that here since 2019. So I think we got a little bit of what do you call it? Not hate, or a little bit of noise, a little bit of squeakiness from some of the Hex community in the early days when we were saying, hey, we want to be chain agnostic, but this is one of our favorite chains, but we like other chains too. But now it seems like people are starting to come around to that finally, which is good. And I think that will be positive for the next bull market. But
absolutely. Ready for this, including Richard Hart.
Yeah,
it's
and-
okay. It's okay, Richard Hart, to talk about PTGC. It's doing very well. In your
Well,
channel there.
So it's
I know
okay.
you're watching.
Make friends in the crypto community. You know, he needs to be not on an island. Like, come on, bro. We'll make it.
Okay, bro.
There's not that many OGs that are still in the space that have been in the space as long as Richard, right? So like, if we want doors and barriers to break free, like I don't buy this idea of like it's gate kept and therefore it's bullish. No, bullshit. Let's actually break through, get on centralized exchanges. We don't need them yet. I get it. We don't need them, but it's also very beneficial to have them. So let's break through. Let's shake hands a little bit more. And people want to hear from you and they're interested in you. You know, they see the persona, the character, all of that kind of stuff, all the Gucci, all of that crap. They want to hear you. They like someone who was a BTC maxi, who switched, changed their tone, and then launched their own project. They want you in the space, right? There's a lot of guys that have left. There's a lot of people that have made their money and they've gone off into the sunset. You're still around. So shake hands, make friends, get on spaces, talk to people, interact, and let's try something slightly different and actually build with other communities that are out there, because it's a very small place and there's different ecosystems, but we can cross collaborate. It's not that bad. And guess what happens? Their audience gets bigger, your audience gets bigger. It's called the law of reciprocity. You start to cross collaborate. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, get out of the scarcity mindset, get into an abundance mindset. There's pretty much an infinite amount of money on the internet. You just have to make enough good nets to be able to grab it. And that's what we try to teach people through the crypto mindset course. I like that everybody here is like-minded in that aspect. We do have 1,950 people watching us on the stream right now. So smash the like on any platform that you're watching it. Come over here to Cultivate Crypto on YouTube and Dollar Cost Crypto on YouTube as well. Subscribe to these channels and then every other person who's on the stream as well. But we appreciate your time, B-Roots. Yeah.
Let me say one more thing, man.
Yeah.
Because I know Richard Hart's watching. Bro, starts off with you, man. Like, you got all these people watching you. You got all these people checking you out. You got your followers. It is okay to branch away from PulseChain Hex. We don't have that many projects that are doing very well. For the ones that are doing well, it is okay to talk about them. I don't think people are going to dump your coins to go into. You have enough dumpers on your chain. But talk about PTGC. It's okay. It is absolutely smashing it. It's everything that you want in crypto. SJ loves it. How you doing there, SJ? Well, all joking aside,
I love you, B-Roots. Here comes a shit post. Here comes a shit post in an hour.
I know the hater post.
Yo, he's like, fuck PGTC, bro. Fuck that shit.
Just being blunt, being truthful. Why is PTGC struggling against Pulse? Like, if you market versus Pulse, like, what would you say? Because obviously, like, we
it's
think
not
it's
struggling against the Pulse. It's almost hit an all-time high against Pulse yesterday.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it versus Wrap Pulse, and it seems like it's making lower lows. I don't know. Hopefully,
zoom out.
Wait, have you seen
zoom out on your dashboard?
It's 16-1. The all-time high is 22-1. Then
it's like yeah.
It was 5
I'm
to
keeping
1.
an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye on it. I had
like
the last pump. I actually wrote it up, by the way. The TLDR, like I did actually do that. So I made some money off of that, and more units. So fingers crossed.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna end off with this. When it comes to the next bull market, I am willing to bet any coin out there right now that's out right now. I'm not saying any new tech that gets involved. Just in case Abdul comes up with this badass new coin, new tech. Without right now, I'm willing to bet that PTGC is going to be the winner out of what's out right now. Nothing else close. Not Hex. Not PulseChain, PTGC.
I have the same conviction.
I wonder why.
I like your conviction. I'll buy back.
It's not backed by us, I heop.
Well, here's the thing. There was one time where I had way more PulseChain than PTGC. So I'm not trying to say what my bag is and not bag bias, but I would be willing to bet probably, I would say, with the exception of maybe one other person on this stream, I would be willing to bet that I sacrifice a lot of money for PulseChain. So when you say bias, maybe I'm biased, but I also held the other just as much for a very long time. So, and guess what? When I did that, yeah, it's multiples. So if I decide I want to cash out that right now, I've had way more PulseChain. So if you guys think that B Roots has way big bag of PTGC, I'm worried about it. Then you probably should be worried about PulseChain and Hex also.
Yeah, but I will say this, Bruce,
you probably should be worried about that. You should be worried about me dumping Hex if you're worried about that. And guess what? I'm not the one dumping Hex. Guess what? I'm actually not the one dumping PulseChain freaking down. So stop worrying about me, because the coins I've shilled only went up. The ones that are doing good on PulseChain, yeah, your boy Moon King shilled them at lows. And they only had to go up because someone didn't sell. So just saying. Now, with that said, I will sell at one point in time, so I won't put that all out there. You should also sell. Everybody take profits. It's okay to take profits. But you're never going to get the retired. Like, I'm retired. I'm out. So you have to sell to do that. But guess what? You also have to hold. So don't hate on people for selling, and don't hate on people for holding, because you got to do both to win. So
there you go. Appreciate you, man. All right, we'll see you on the next one. And there's two things I want to kind of do from here on the stream. One, I want to go into SJ a little bit, talking about the tablets and kind of what's been going on with that, and just kind of see where you guys are with that. And then I do want to go into super chats. We have about 10 of them waiting here, so I want to mention that too. But SJ, we got one of them. We got some of them in here. I don't know, Kyle, can you get the camera to zoom in on this? We want to show people the beautiful work that's been going on in the great state of
Will you go grab me a new one?
Let's zoom in a look. Can you zoom in more? No, it's as far as the Sony's gonna go. All right. Well, you guys can get the idea. You could probably figure it out. But yeah, it's this is like basically the tablets that are being sent out.
There's even newer,
and
there's an even newer that
has
has
some
less
good onboarding for new people.
like less on.
I guess I can open it.
It has the QR code and it says "Do it now."
SJ's got like 500 slave workers behind her. You just don't know.
At least
something like that.
But I mean, here's the actual. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Here's the actual tablet itself. Very lightweight, very low tech, but does, what do you call it? Shill PulseChain extremely well. So yeah, you want to kind of talk about that, like what you guys have been doing? I know you guys have been putting in a lot of work for that.
Yeah, we had a lull the last couple of weeks because one of our printers went down. So luckily, we have now a totally new printer that kind of act as a backup, but it's actually like become our like go-to printer at this point. And that causes the lull because they come to us like this. Basically, they come in envelopes. They're already sealed. The tablets are in there. I think we have now received all of them, which I did the math the other day. And I think in total, we received about 1,300,000, something like that. So over 1 million. And wow. I would say that we have probably sent out close to 200,000 at this point. Does that sound right in my head? I think that's right. And for me, doing what we're doing right now and what we have been doing in the past was kind of like test runs. Like, okay, how can we get these out in mass? How can they have the greatest effect? Getting them out in mass has not necessarily been the greatest effect, right? Because the whole point is to onboard to PulseChain. And if we're just throwing these out on people's lawns, if we're just sticking them on car windows and putting them in mailboxes, yes, that can have an effect for sure, right? Someone can look into it. Someone can actually see, hey, like, here's this cool looking thing, like some people. So over time, no, there's boxes that have. Sorry, I'm trying to get one of the most recent labels so I can tell you guys what I'm trying to say. Actually, there's a roll right there. Just give me the roll. Okay. Yeah, the roll that's sitting on the desk right there. So you'll kind of get to see a little bit of the process, right? So over time, it has gone from basically like a wall of text to as little text as possible because we're learning, right? This is a learning process. It's a marketing extravaganza and we're trying to figure out what works the best. What doesn't work is a bunch of text on the outside of the label. Like that was our original kind of plan. They went out through the US Postal Service, and it was there was a little bit of a fluke. Like we kind of won in a weird way, getting them out at a very, very, very low price. But it turned out that they weren't supposed to be going out technically at that price because of the way that they're packaged, and also the way that they're not a postcard, right? So we were basically getting postcard prices for not sending out postcards. And other things happened with the US Postal Service that just ended up like nixing that whole route. So we were not able to do that anymore. And then on top of that, I've mentioned a couple times, I went door to door to a couple of the areas where these were mailed to and asked people what they did with them. Did you get them? Did you open it? Did you look at it? And the bag was mixed, right? I actually ran into the first person that I asked about it was a guy that had gotten into Bitcoin very early. He said he had gone to the first ever Bitcoin conference. He was the roommate of the CFO of FTX, and he hadn't received one. He was supposed to have in his neighborhood. He hadn't received one, and he actually wanted one. He was like, "Oh, no, I didn't get one of those. Can I have one of these?" And I asked him, did you know about PulseChain? He's like, "No, I hadn't heard of it." So he was super stoked and wanted to look into it. So now here's the thing. I've recently, we've been sending out pallets, right, around the states because that has been cost effective theoretically, right? It's actually been nearly the same cost, if not a little less, to send a pallet of, I'm trying to think how many. So if anyone wants to do some quick math, there's 160 of these in one box, and we send anywhere from 24 to 36 boxes. I think 36 is the most I can fit on a pallet. So 36 times 160.
5760.
There you go. So that many tablets will go to one location. And it's been like we're kind of trying to figure out how to make that work, right? Because we're not getting a lot of donations for like that part of it, right? Obviously the tablets came to us free. All of this was no cost to us in terms of actually like receiving the tablets. That was given by an anonymous generous donor. And at this point it's like, okay, yes, I love that the community is getting involved. I love that there are thousands of these going to different locations across the states. We are trying to get them overseas as well. I do have a connect who has a shipping, like a low cost kind of shipping solution, and it's literally by ship, so it would take a little while to get there. But that is something that we're looking into as well. And then on top of that, right, because that's the idea of getting them out in mass, right? So we have like 3 or 4 storage units full of these things, and obviously we want to get them out into the community. So sorry, there's a lot going on in my brain right now about this. So because it's to me this is a multi hit, like there's multi targets, right? There's getting them into people's homes. People love these things, right? So we're going to conferences too. Crypto Coffee just went to ETH Denver, and people were like, "Oh, this is the coolest piece of swag. Like, I'm definitely like keeping this. Can I get some for my kids?" Right? So on one hand, you have this is a cool thing. Let me keep it in my house and put it on my refrigerator. The new ones have magnets. So the one Charlie showed you didn't have magnets, but the new ones do. Put it in the house, keep it around, and brand awareness, right? So there's the brand awareness piece of it, right? Which I think is huge. And I think that's going to be the slow win, is that these are going to be in over 1 million homes all over the world. And absolutely people will at some point, in my opinion, right? They're going to hear about Hex. They're going to hear about Richard. They're going to hear about PulseChain. And they're going to be like, "Oh, hey, that symbol looks familiar," right? So that's one piece of it. The other piece is onboarding, right? Like that's the main piece. That's the thing that is supposed to be going on here, is that these are supposed to be an onboarding marketing onboarding type tool. So the next piece of the puzzle that we're trying to fit in and figure out is a affiliate program. How can we, almost like a network marketing, right? Not multi-level, but just an affiliate program where you have your tablet, you have your specific QR code, right? That gets scanned, and then you get a reward. And let's say you subscribe to getting like 2 or 3 of these a month, right? And then you onboard someone, and maybe they subscribe as well, and they want to get another person in, right? Or even if they don't subscribe to like being an affiliate, right, in terms of like actually getting the tablets out to other people, they buy Pulse. and you get a point, right? Like, so that's all kind of like in the works right now. We're trying to figure that piece of it out. And that would obviously be a much slower release of the tablets. So for me right now, the focus is 3 different marketing arms: the getting them to the community in mass, getting them out in an affiliate program to really onboard, and then getting them to ETH Denver, ETH San Francisco, all the crypto conferences, and getting them in front of people who, you know, may or may not have already heard about Hex and PulseChain. So that's where we're at. And the reason I wanted to show you guys this is that we've gone from more text, like even this one has, well, let's see, how close can I get it?
It's not focused up there.
Oh, well, that's all right. Anyway, but you can see, right? There's more words here than there are here. Slightly less words, but it's just a matter of the call to action went from, you know, learn about all these things. Like, let me tell you a little bit about ETH and how its price went up and, you know, things people weren't reading, to, hey, just pulsechain.com. That's the important part. Look, it's big, it's large. If you want, there's a QR code you can scan to go there too. And this is an actual tracking QR code. So instead of it just going straight to PulseChain, there's a, I forget which service we used, but it allows us to follow up and find out, hey, did they actually scam this to get to pulsechain.com, which is one of the huge reasons why this is even happening in the first place. So we're open to suggestions, open to ideas. If you want a palette of these lovely tablets, there is a form on rsgfoundation.org that you can fill out. I just want to apologize to anyone who has filled that out in the last like month and a half or so. We've been swamped with other things. Like, there's a lot going on right now. And then the whole printer thing, like, kind of took a back seat for a minute in terms of getting these out there. But I literally have a pallet of 36 boxes that's about to go to Washington next week. So, and also if you're in the Southern California area, come volunteer. I see this right here. These all need to go on tablets. So if you want to come put these beautiful stickers on these beautiful envelopes, I would love to have you here. We will feed you well. If you really need it, we can probably put you up in a hotel if you're like flying from out of state or out of the country, which has happened. Come hang out. Come be a part of this. It's great. It's really awesome. I really do think this is going to work. I think that there is a lot of goodness to what is happening with this marketing campaign. And outside of just the getting tablets to people, seeing what has happened here with people volunteering and coming together and having conversations, it's like, this is like the most diehard bullish of the bullish will come to this place. And it's just a good place to be. So
the tablets are essential. It's not really even about the tablets, it's about the conversation behind what the tablets do.
Josh Wu, ladies and gentlemen, in the background.
Hi.
Oh, we got some.
Oh, it's that guy.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Exciting.
Dude, SJ's been calling you Slave 1 and Slave 2. I wasn't sure.
I'm Slave 1, probably.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. So yeah, and no, I know there's been a few people from the Moon Gang that have gone down and met up with you guys too. So good to see the work. I mean, to be honest, like, one thing that this stream does make me super bullish on. I mean, if I'm looking at the metrics here on what do you call it, the back end here, because we're streaming through YouTube, YouTube and X mainly. We have 2,080 people watching us live right now through the 2 platforms, and we have pretty much everybody on this panel doing something, right? Doing as much as they can to build awareness, to build but with realistic expectations and realistic what do you call it, just understanding of what's going on with PulseChain. But everybody here is doing something. Everybody is building something, and there's a huge community here that's still around. I mean, if you look at some of the stats on Aster, if you look at some of the stats on Polkadot, even though Polkadot got recently their ETF application, like, they don't have as much of a grassroots community as PulseChain does. So, I mean, that's a massive strength that I think will be needed that we will need to lean into. But at the same time, right, like, we got to call out any projects that come in and try to basically use the community as a rug, because that just happened way too many times in the last cycle. So, like B-Root said, learn from your mistakes as an entire community, I think, is massively important. But I will go into super chats here, but on anything that was just said there, is there any quick comment, or are we good? I think we're good.
I want to make just a quick rebuttal to the concept of, that, now is the time to sell. I really do feel like when we look at the numbers and the metrics that PulseChain is at an excellent buying stage. Like if we look at the total value of the core tokens, so I mean like Inc, PulseX, Hex, and Pulse, compared to the value of the sack bags, it's actually probably less right now. It's a ridiculous metric. Like we're supremely undervalued for the community we have, for the number of users, the number of transactions. It's probably the most undervalued chain there is. And people are ignoring the 400-pound gorilla that's hiding in the bushes. And that gorilla has a rocket launcher. That is the sack bags. And I do think that gorilla probably is going to shoot that rocket launcher at some point in time. The gorilla lobs grenades once in a while, like we see a little pump, but that's just to remind us that the gorilla has a rocket launcher. So like, I'm not counting Richard out of this fight. I do think when the red notice is cleared, we're going to see Richard every day, all day long streaming, and there's going to be huge changes. And I do think, and this is just my opinions, none of this is financial advice, I do think at some point in time, those sack bags are going to be deployed. And it's going to be ridiculous with our current liquidity situation. So just my opinions, but I think it's important people have that perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Awesome. Let's go into a couple super chats here. We'll, what do you call it? We could basically, answer them kind of how we go, right? Let's see. We'll just go with the biggest one first. Saltwater Slade with the 369 says, big thanks in advance to everyone who helped put this stream together. Me, myself, and I, and then the crew. But what do you call it? Yeah, Fast Abdul as well, of course. Looking forward to the discussion. Well, we just had it. We got Kent Rose with the $2 super chat here. Appreciate you. We have by Clifton Holly with the $4.99 said Sui just got listed on Gemini. Good to see. Let's say here we have what do you call it? I should be more anonymous with the 199 pounds says he took the ETH. We made no gains. GG. Game over. We're going to zero. Oh, it's funny. He's been trolling the chat a little bit there. I think we put Ken Rose with this one on already, but click the like button to the stream. Moonaholics. Appreciate you, sir. Let's see. Dr. Pegger with the 499. Quite the name, right? Epic Discourse, friends. Moving forward, how does the future for PulseChain prices, etc., prove X? Well, I mean, if I'm just going to go with where Bitcoin's at right now, right? Bitcoin's at $68,300. If over the weekend and into Monday, Tuesday, so basically Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because we have what, 20% of volume happening on weekends, and the majority of it, especially if there's going to be ETF inflows on Bitcoin coming in probably like Monday, Tuesday. But if it's outflows, then we're probably going to be dumping Bitcoin back down basically till the end of March, early April. And it could hit as low as, I think, $51,000 to $57,000. If that's going to be the case, we're going to get cheaper prices across everything in crypto. But I do think we'll get some cheaper prices on PulseChain too. So I think the dollar cost average strategy, we have dollar cost crypto in the house, but the dollar cost averaging strategy will win long term. So that'd be my answer to that. But anybody else have anything specifically for price or DCAs that they wanted to mention? No, going once.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, like my personal opinion is that Ethereum's going to go lower, and if the treasury is, if the treasury is kind of tied towards the price of Ethereum, then possibly it could go lower. Not financial advice. So, and then also we have the Halloween effect, and typically from May we have poor price performance when it comes to crypto up until October. So yeah, I mean, like I'm not type to say that this is a bottom. I'm not going to say that it's a bottom just yet. If could PulseChain go down that amount? Maybe I'm too bearish on that, but these lows is going to be good and probably going to be good in the future. And again, to Abdul's point, yeah, the gorilla has a rocket launch. capacity right now. It's at about 10% capacity. Could go down to 5%, and then it's probably going to go up to 100% plus. Okay.
Good stuff. DCC, were you going to say something? You good?
Yeah, I was just saying I usually don't comment until the token launches and stuff, but I think you'll have a nice price movement once ProveX actually launches. But then after that, yeah, if we have a crash in Ethereum, that'll kind of like muddle things off for a bit.
Good. Next one here from Paula with the $50 says, don't you guys miss the days when every stream was supported by $500 super chats? Good times. We'll see them again. Yeah, I mean, super chats are nice, but it's never been the main bread and butter for our channels. But it is nice to see the community active and what do you call it? Just very excited for what's going on. And then we have Frank with the $10 super chat saying, all we got to do is make AI commercials about your favorite coin on PulseChain. Only price goes up then, Ken. What does he say? But you could amplify. People are visual. Richard Hart dropped the ball on that. Just make AI commercials. I mean, memeing it up, throughout the community, like getting people to like the PulseChain community, even if they necessarily don't jive with Richard Hart, is definitely a good thing. So yeah, I think the community is getting a little bit more realistic as the bear market goes on, probably.
How
Is that him or us?
Commercials.
Him.
Broke up there for a second. Can you say it again, Money Gang?
I said how good was the N2 ticker on Solana's, like the AI.
The marketing was insane. The guys behind it just kept fucking dumping it, and that's why it never pumped. Yeah, Fat did good too, but like that marketing can go so viral. But you also have to attach. I mean, that'd be cool to do that marketing and then have like the internet wallet or something linked to it or something like that to make it, because it's like it'd be difficult for someone who doesn't know anything, because it's like to get into it basically. So you have to have like some apparatus for them to like funnel them into it basically to make it easy for them.
Yep.
I'm curious how so just what I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I'm interested, because how did they market? Was it just through like their own accounts? Because to put an ad on X or Instagram or Facebook, try putting a crypto ad on any of those platforms.
Yeah.
Right?
So it is an ad technically, but it's not an ad. So it's essentially a meme or like a commercial meme essentially. So it's like when you make a funny meme about like a meme that has a coin, essentially that is marketing for it. But like there isn't like you're not paying for advertising. Essentially, you're just like making a reel so funny that people like it and it goes viral because it says ridiculous and funny shit and it goes viral basically. So like memeing up PulseChain could actually help it out, but it works on Instagram and TikTok. You don't see too much success on X with that kind of content unless it's just like so fucking fun. It's got to be like S tier funny insanity basically. But it can go viral. I've seen the dumbest things go viral on Instagram and on TikTok, and so. But you do need a certain amount of accounts to really make it like be seen.
The Epstein versus Diddy stuff is quite funny right now.
Oh yeah, George Droid. All these the fat fellas undefeated.
Right. We got Real Ready with the $10 super chat saying, good to see people holding Richard Hart's feet to the fire sometimes. God versus God Killer. I don't know what you mean by the last part, but basically, no, I mean, it's good to have an honest conversation about what's happening on the chain, right? Like some people are going to be happy about it. Some people are not going to be happy about it. Some people are going to be long-term about it. Some people are not. So that's the discussion that I did want to have here today. I guess my last question to the panel, well, first is, why aren't you in the crypto mindset course? So DCC, you want to mention a little bit about the Q1 and 2 crypto mindset course that is coming out here on March 13th?
Definitely. So if you want to escape poverty, thank you, Kyle. Yeah, if you want to escape poverty, you want to learn how to buy the bottom. Do you want to know which cryptos are actually going to be the ones to be able to survive this bear market? Get in. We've done the research. We're currently doing the research. We've done this many times before. We are like all-time greats when it comes to buying the absolute lows on coins. I've done it on 2 cycles in a row on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm going to do it again. One of the biggest ones that we did last cycle was, people were fading Solana, and we got our guys into like sub $20 Solana. Most of our guys got in Solana in $10. So our guys made a lot of money, and that gave them the income and money to be able to DCA into all their favorite coins. Like you have to make money. You can't fade other altcoins. Now, it's okay if you have your favorite, but like we teach the red pill of finances, you have to spin plates. There's this thing about like having economic concentration, right? Like people want to like believe that it's in one coin, but we have all our money in, like, we're not diversified at all. We're in crypto, but you don't have to be just in one crypto. And learning that, we teach you everything from fundamentals, technical analysis, and on-chain analytics and everything else in there. So if you don't know, if you want to like sharpen your skills and kind of get the buying list or just overall be in a place where people are actively trying to basically get the best prices, what are you waiting for? It's a month-long course. We're literally going to be gone pretty much the whole month of April. And I mean, everything. I mean, we're going to be teaching from AI to, fundamentals, technical analysis, on-chain analytics, the how to actually properly search and look up meme coins. I mean, it's insanity, the amount of value we do here. And we've taught, I mean, we're nearing on like 20,000, but we've taught about 19,000 people through the courses. We're pretty much the longest running crypto course on the planet, period, point stop. And we go on really big, large channels as well, million subscriber channels. We onboard quite a lot of people into the space. So, if you have a family member who doesn't know anything about crypto, bring them this way. Absolutely. We've had people like their brothers and sisters share the same computer to watch the stuff. We totally are okay with that. We've had entire families take the course together and now like know how to like safely hold their Bitcoin, their Ethereum on wallets. How like we've taught there's systems that have been copied by the CIA from our program. Literally, we've had like ex-CIA employees say that basically like our fucking program, our wallet system is pretty much like one of the safest systems in terms of like how not to get rugged. But you got to learn not to pick up the phone. So we also show you how to like not get ripped off in crypto and not give your seed phrases away. So all the basics from A to Z. If you want to learn anything that has to do with crypto, the CMC is here.
Yeah, and we do recommend that for people who are in crypto that want family members to be educated and have like a solid foundation for their crypto education. Also for people who are in crypto who have maybe like a little bit of a Swiss cheese, in their knowledge, meaning that they have blind spots. They might not understand portions of crypto, or maybe you've just been in PulseChain so long, you're like, I have no idea how to get started properly on some of the other chains. We talk all about it. We're coin agnostic. Like I said, we have this PulseChain stream going here, but we have the Aerodrome co-founder coming on Wednesday, the 11th at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Cultivate Crypto channel. So we're going to have PulseChain speakers in here. We're going to have Aerodrome and Base Chain speakers in here. We're going to have other chains come in here and give talks as well. We're going to talk about on-chain data. We're going to talk about technical analysis. We're going to talk about fundamental analysis. So everything from your foundation all the way to shitcoin, meme coin, degen trading. We cover it all. So go to the cryptomindsetcourse.com, put your best email address in here, click to sign up. Then on Friday, March 13th, your lucky day, we'll be starting the enrollment for the Crypto Mindset course. Enrollment goes for about 5 days. And we'll close that then on Pacific Midnight Standard Time on the 18th. So put your best email address in here, click to sign up. You'll get in here absolutely for free. And then you'll be aware, you'll get an email about twice a day during that 5-day period, just to remind you that the course is live. So we appreciate y'all for listening to this announcement brought to you by me, myself, and Dollar Cost Crypto, because we do not take sponsorships on this channel. We only build products that we think are good for people. And we only talk about projects that we also think are good for people. And this is why somebody asked earlier in the chat, is like, are you guys being sponsored by the Grays? No, we just have them on our channel because we like the project and we like the guys. Same thing with the PulseChain stuff. So we appreciate you all for that. I'll throw that in the chat. But real last question to the panel actually is just, did you guys have any other either small topics or questions to pose to the chat? Anything that you had thought maybe we didn't cover in this discussion that you wanted to go into just a little bit more here before we end the stream? I think Fast, you're looking like you want to say something.
Well, I think the one thing that I'd like people to reflect on is that PulseChain is the land of opportunity as far as community goes. We have probably the strongest community in crypto. We've seen, maybe XRP and ADA, maybe they're comparable, but I think we're stronger than them. So from a builder perspective, I think people should look at PulseChain. There is opportunity here. And from like a user perspective, why would you look at chains that are, they're doing well, but it's all VC backed fake numbers? Like, these are the real numbers. They're not hot right now, but it's real people with real money doing real things. PulseChain is going to be a win for community, which I think will turn into a financial win. The community is the asset, not the coin. Some smart guy said that once.
I have a perfect piggyback off of that.
Go for it.
So speaking of crazy things that are happening in this community, on April 6th, April 7th through the 11th, there's going to be a handful of PulseChain folks in El Salvador filming a reality TV show.
Whoa.
All about crypto. That includes myself and the Josh Wu. We're both going, and it's going to be really ridiculous. You can follow Noob Decentral for more information. There's going to be a $500 prize every single day. It was sponsored by a ton of coins, all the memes, and other projects. And from what I understand, we don't really know what we're getting ourselves into. Apparently,
people are putting out bounties to like smash eggs on my head or whatever, and I don't know how that's going to work yet. But I'm starting to get apprehensive about this.
Yeah, it's like this coin sponsored to have Josh smash an egg on his. We're again, we're just in for the ride. We're doing it for the chain. Where
shout out
else?
EcoBuilder.
Yeah, shout out EcoBuilder. Where else are you going to find this kind of quality entertainment? The thought is that each of us are going to be live streaming from our own devices as this is happening during the day, and then there will be like a round table in the evenings that will host a space every single one of the evenings to kind of like talk to each other about how it went. And then there's also going to be reality TV show like confession room. Where you just get to sit there and talk to the camera about like what happened and who did the most ridiculous thing and how you can't stand the guy that snores in the room next to you. So
how do we spell Noob Decentral?
Noob, and then decentral like it's spelled
DECENTRAL.
Mm-hmm.
How do we sponsor Josh to give him bear mace?
Dude, I'm gonna need Tiger Mace. Tiger Crypto God, if you guys know who that is going to be there, as well as Richard's only brother. And
that's gonna be
a couple
fun.
other dudes who I haven't met, but it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, as per usual, I will be the only woman attending. So
I tried to get some other girls to go, but I think
too.
everyone's too nervous about a number of things.
I'm an adventurer. What can I say?
Good stuff. Cool. And then just the one last thing, I guess, is let's go back around and just let us know on which social media is best for the audience to follow you guys at. So for me, that's it's Cultivate Crypto on YouTube. Here is the main place. And then to get notifications on when we go live on streams outside of YouTube, go to Cultivate Crypto on Twitter as well. And then get into the cryptomindsetcourse.com there to get into the Crypto Mindset course. Me and DCC will be on Fresh and Fit next week on Friday. And then we'll be on again on Money Mondays. So we'll have a little PulseChain talk there. We'll have a little PDGC talk maybe there as well. So definitely tune in to that and subscribe to both of our channels. Let's go to dollar cost here, and then we'll go around here for the
Yeah, so I'm going live in the next 23 minutes. So I'm going live. I'm gonna have my show all talking about crypto prices, peptides, and all kinds of other cool stuff. But you can follow me here on my you can follow me Dollar Cost Crypto on Instagram, YouTube. I mean, anywhere it's I've got a check mark on everything basically. But no, definitely follow us, you guys. We're one of the only channels that just doesn't leave during bear markets. We're here for the good times, the bad times, and the times to get rich, which is this next year. These prices, if you buy, you're going to make some serious money. And if you don't, you're going to buy the top again.
Beautiful. Put the link directly to the stream there. So the goal for everybody here should be just let's go all the way to the Dollar Cost Crypto stream on the next one here. So, look we got a late guy to the chat. We got a wild hex monkey. So let's get ready for the moon launch, peeps. Good to see you, man. Let's go to Prairie.
You can find me on YouTube at The Prairie Banana, and I'm also on X, Prairie Banana, and I put those links in the comment section. Thanks for having us. We really appreciated the exposure.
Yeah, definitely. And at some point down the line, maybe we'll have a stream with probably each of you guys, like as small groups or individuals, so we can all have a little bit more, screen time, talking time. But I'm glad to have everybody here chattering together. And then how about you, Fast?
I can be found on X at FastAbdul, as well as via one of my websites. We'll say vault369.com, which is my newest project. I can also be found on the majority of YouTube channels.
Awesome. Appreciate you. KG.
First of all, thank you for having me on today, giving me the opportunity to talk about internet money and all the awesome things in PulseChain. Shout out to the RS Foundation for doing all the crazy work with the tablets. Absolute heroes of a foundation there. And for myself, I don't even want you to find me. I want you to find internet money at internetmoney.io. And we actually just put out a post where we are applying for base batches, which I won't deep dive into that right now, but it's an awesome opportunity for internet money to become more integrated into base. We already have a big base community, but we want to be really central on base. So if you can go to Internet Money Twitter account or X account, find it from our website, internetmoney.io, and share, like, comment, retweet, bookmark, all those things. Let's let base know, because if we succeed, when we succeed, PulseChain will succeed alongside of us. So thank you again, and please go spread the word.
Beautiful. We got Money Gang.
I think my battery just died on my camera. Just as we've got
No worries. We got your beautiful AI mug.
Yeah, you can find me at Money Gang Crypto on both YouTube and X. I'm on also, speaking of on peptides, get on True Side, by the way, guys. Whilst you're in this kind of bearish time frame, get absolutely shredded so that when you accumulate Bitcoin at the lows, Ethereum, PulseChain, Solana, etc., you have life-changing money and you have a shredded body. So let's get on the peptides. Let's do it
before it gets illegal. Before it gets illegal,
yeah,
guys.
Before the FDA approves it. So
yeah.
All
Shout
right.
out to GLPs.
Yeah. And then we got SJ here. Or no, sorry, we already went to you, right?
Hi.
Socials.
A Wild SJ everywhere. Instagram, X. I talk mostly about the crypto stuff on X, and you can just follow my life with my adorable fuzzy gray cat on Instagram. Also on YouTube, LinkedIn, all the things. So yeah, at A Wild SJ.
Beautiful. And last but not least, the PTGC.
Yeah, I'm on the Gray369 on Twitter. Also, take a second, look at PTGC on Dex Screener, Dex Tools. You can hop over to our Telegram, the Gray's Currency. Very welcoming community there. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me or Banana, and we'd be happy to help you.
Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah. And what do you call it? Everybody here on the panel, stick around for the next couple minutes after the outro. We'll have a little chat in the background. So appreciate y'all for coming. Appreciate everybody in the chats on the various platforms for coming and watching the stream with us as well. Have a good rest of your weekend. And we'll see you back on this channel on Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Cultivate Crypto for the Moon Gang with me and Dollar Cost Crypto. So until then, guys, peace, live long and prosper. We'll catch you all again soon. Later.
Bye.
Asset. Well, Bitcoin is the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert